What's going on, guilty guys and gals? What's going on? There's no music. I'm afraid. Okay, there is sound though. I gotta turn it down so I don't get jump scared by the music in 3 seconds. Time to go to bed. I'm sure nothing bad will happen. Oh no, never mind. I just woke up. I'm sure nothing bad has happened because there's no music. And that surely means everything is alright. Uh-oh, did I break it? No, okay. The arsenal. Inside the tightly closed door, full of inspiration. At such a closed place, they're the only clues that could help to overcome this situation. Why didn't I realize there was a way to get out of this suffering so easily? Reason and morality have already gone out the window. Rather than waiting to die like this, The arsenal is locked? Oh, thank God there's music again. No, I don't remember seeing a lock on the door to the arsenal. It can't be locked. Then why doesn't it open? Get me in there.
Oh, well, what's all the fuss, Yuki?
Teruya, hey there. The arsenal door won't open.
What? Who locked it?
It couldn't have been locked. The door to the arsenal doesn't have a lock. Someone blocked it with something from inside. Help me open it.
Okay.
It's probably just Tsurugi. Oh God, did we break it? Oh no, we broke something inside. What's that sound? I think something broke inside.
The thing blocking the door inside seems to be broken, so it gotta open now.
Yeah, I guess.
Wah! What is this?
They got flashbanged. At the moment of opening the door, my view was filled with a huge noise. I guess that's one way of saying it. I couldn't see anything, couldn't hear anything. Was it a flashbang grenade that's common in FPS games? It felt like I was hit by that. It becomes impossible to know top from bottom, left from right. It became impossible to tell whether I was standing or falling. As time passed and my eyesight and hearing gradually recovered, the figure of Teruya and myself began to be engraved on my eyeballs, bad, by something coming from the floor. What? It's smoky.
My eyes are all weird. The tears won't stop. Damn it. What kind of prank is this?
Teruya, there's something inside. Oh yes, the two small lads. I still couldn't walk properly because my head was ringing, but I made my way into the arsenal, as if hooked by something. There was a familiar smell that I guess sensed as a way you could say that I'd experienced a lot in the past few weeks. The thick scent of smoke, and no doubt, blood. As soon as I smelled it, my mind froze. I couldn't accept this reality. Waiting in the arsenal, a cruel reality, was engraved into my eyes. Oh no! Not the funny man! Sad. Did they rip his tie? Rude. With no vitality left in his body, I opened my eyes to lock with his empty dead ones. The cruel reality of the death of Haruhiko Kobashikawa, the ultimate pilot. Dun dun dun. Haruhiko died. Another terrifying murder had taken place. The others came running soon due to the noise of the flashbang and the thick smoke, and then the body discovery announcement rang out. After these shocking things happened in an instant, we were eating food. Eating like crazy. I ate food so vehemently, it was as if I was trying to relieve my resentment. You know, this is obviously they can't do this because it would mess up like the timing of everything up. But when you actually starve like that, you can actually kill yourself by eating too much too fast. Your cells, because your cells like they shrink down, right? Because there's not enough nutrients to sustain them. So if you load them up like that, they can actually get so big they just explode. And then, you know, that's not good for you. I think it's mostly with dehydration, because, you know, most of your cell is water. That's why people say, you're 80% water, because, I mean, it's true. Blood and cells, they all got water in them. But I'm pretty sure it can happen with food, too. Not that these guys were, like, extremely starving, but still, you know, be cautious.
After Haruhiko's body was discovered, Monokuma immediately provided us with food. There was so much. We could eat as much as we wanted. Since the murder had occurred, we had to investigate, and then, of course, have a class trial. But before all of that, we only could focus on eating. After eating as much as possible to recover our stamina, we had to do our best to find the culprit who killed Haruhiko. To find the culprit who couldn't stand hunger and killed a friend, we continued to eat. As Haruhiko left us, there were now only 7 people left in this place. Well, now we're with Tsurugi and Rei here filling our stomachs. No one said anything, as if it was either because of the shock or because the food in front of them was something they hadn't seen for days. All except one, Satsuki.
Haru, why Hey, why are you being noisy? Eat or cry, one at a time. Come on.
I'm sorry, but I'm sad. What can I do?
That was the wrong voice, but whatever, we'll go with it.
It was Satsuki, who was the closest to Haruhiko.
I don't think they were like family, okay?
She must have been the most saddened by the loss of him. Satsuki, who tried to stay as bright as possible in any situation, couldn't stand crying.
You know, this moment feels weird. It feels like we should have had a scene where Monokuma pops up and he's like,
you guys killed someone, go get your food.
And everyone's like, but it would be dishonorable. Like, you know, Haruhiko just died and we just saw his dead body. Are we really gonna go eat? And one by one, they slowly, like, filter into the dining room and start eating. And have Satsuki come last crying, you know? That easy.
Guys, listen while we eat. I have a confession to make before we investigate. Actually, I myself was swayed a few times that I could do the killing a few days ago. I went in and out of the arsenal countless times. I don't have a face to show. I'm really sorry.
It wasn't your fault. Anyone would have been swayed by it. Actually, I hesitated again and again.
Yeah, it would have been weird not to go a little crazy. I've been just, you know, picking people to die. It was crazy. It was mad, even though I deserve to die 1,000 times more than Haruhiko.
Kobazing.
It's not anyone's fault. The bad one is Monokuma. Trying to make a murder take place, we have no choice but to go on trial again.
I'm satisfied. I've eaten, so I'll begin investigating.
Hey, can we unpack everything you said last night?
I'll ask you to investigate as well, because you're not out of this crisis from dying, because you can't... You're not out of this crisis. You'll die if you'll fail the trial, after all. Wait a minute, Tsurugi. What do you want? Why are you so calmly asking for our cooperation now? Don't you have anything to say? Weren't you the one who was trying to force people to commit suicide because you were totally out of your mind? You're not going to say you don't remember it, huh? After making turmoil and acting all crazy? Didn't I tell you this? I won't treat you like criminals only in the case of a class trial. I want to cooperate as much as possible. And was I crazy? I don't seem to remember that. Pfft, are you trying to fake it? We almost died because of you. Don't be mistaken. It's just that I don't have any crazy memories. I'm not soft enough yet to blow my mind out because I was hungry.
Okay.
Tsurugi, wait a second. To say you weren't crazy, do you really mean that? What about it?
Then, in your mind, after thinking, you really tried to kill us?
In that situation, there was only one way to solve it without murder. That's crazy! You were hungry and sleeping, And you... no matter being hungry and not sleeping, you were always crazy? Why am I being suspected? I just acted to save you all who didn't want to become preliminary criminals. What do you mean, save? Death is not eternal rest. What is this? A cult of religion?
What?
You want a word of apology from me? For me to say an apology means admitting I did something wrong. And to express an apology, I did nothing wrong here. If you're looking for apologies, you all should be the ones to do it. You tied me up and confined me. Right now, we're going back and forth on the trial. But at least I know how to take responsibility for my actions.
No, sorry. I think the whole argument is that you're not taking
You damned...
Teruya, stop. Tsurugi, just as I thought, you're all strange now. You hate crime, but it's not just that. Your mood has completely changed from before. Tsurugi himself doesn't know what's best for anyone. It's because of your conflictedness, isn't it? Suppose something like that.
I told you to shut up, Yuki!
Okay.
Whatever both sides say, it remains on the verge of a class trial anyway. Focus on the investigation, not on this bullshit.
Yeah, we're 11 minutes in. I'm good. Well, that was quite entertaining. Yeah, thanks for not saying anything. I think you probably could have helped there. When Tsurugi gets mad like that, it's really strange, like Yuki said. That guy. What happened? Why is he acting like that? Just a few things. Okay. Well, maybe it's for the best. As he said, the fact we're on the verge of a class trial... Is that how you say that? I'm pretty sure there's no U in that. Unless it's a different version of the word, I don't know. Remains the same. Don't think just because we're free from here, it's over. I don't think any of us said that, but okay. Damn it. Why does it have to be like this? Yuki, I understand you have mixed feelings. You guys are right. But for now, let's focus on the investigation. Satsuki, you too. For Haru's sake, okay? Yeah, okay. I just remembered that I thought for sure Tsurugi would have tripped on Monokuma's treasure, and yet we never looked there, so I guess I was just wrong about that. Oh well. Prior to the investigation, we changed from our party outfits back into our casual clothes. As a result, I was able to recover my student handbook, and it made it easier to move. Although Haruhiko's death was the cause of our escape, it would be in vain if the truth was not revealed at the class trial. The same story, all over again. Tsurugi, there are a lot of problems ahead, but, like everyone said, let's focus on the problem right in front of us. The class trial isn't to be taken lightly at all. To not face it seriously, or to face it with conflicting thoughts, would disrupt our reasoning. Sure. Okay. Wow, that must be a lot of smoke. It hasn't aired out of here by now? Sheesh. I'll have to investigate from here on out as well. Okay. It was the arsenal where the body was found. A lot better than before? Oh, the smoke was a lot less than before, although it was still in full view at the time the door was opened. Haruhiko, always trying to stay bright and keep us from dying. I mean, I feel like Haruhiko got a major turn in this chapter. People in the comments are always saying like, oh, Haruhiko's great, man. And I'm like, I mean, I like the guy, but he didn't really do all that much before this chapter, you know? Like, what was his biggest contribution other than, like, the fan service scene before now? Getting the glare, I think? I don't know. How he did that. I have a different mind when my heart thinks about my friends. Even at this time, when I was at the ballroom, everyone was going crazy and our reasoning was leaving our minds. Even though I was on the verge to kill, Why was it you that ended up like this?
Alright.
I'll reveal them. Because of his death, we're alive. I'll never make your death in vain. I'll survive for your sake, Haruhiko.
Alright. Wow, there's a lot of people to talk to. Oh man, it's the the Danganronpa 2 Final Investigate. What is it called? Is it Ikaroshia? It's called Kill Command, I think, in English, which is such a good name for this song. Anyway,
ugh, the smell is the source of this smoke. A military smoke screen often used for strategic purposes in modern warfare. It was on the ground and still spreading a little bit of smoke from inside. Close to the smoke bomb, there was a flash grenade that had been used and became an empty steel barrel. Flashbang and smoke screen. These were also... When Teruya and I opened the door at first to the arsenal this morning, in an instant a tremendous light and sound came upon me. At that same time, the smoke screen spread like a mist.
So did they, like, notch the grenade? How did they do this, actually? Now that I think about it. I guess I don't know how these grenades actually operate, because it's not like I've ever had one in my hands. But, like, grenades are generally pull the pin and then release the, whatever it's called, you know? Like, you hold the thing down, pull the pin out, and then when you release it, that's when it, like, ignites or whatever, and you can throw it in and it'll explode after a short time. And I think I heard this rather recently, actually. If you just keep the trigger, for lack of a better word, held down, you can actually put the pin back in with no consequence. It's literally releasing the trigger after the pin is gone that allows the grenade to be explosive. So, like, how did they do this? If they pulled the pin, they would have to then find a place where they could shove it where the trigger would be pushed down, and then somehow we knocked that free when we opened the door? Wow, we must have opened this door really hard.
Looking at it this far, no matter what I think, these grenades can be affirmed as the cause of that situation. The question is who? Who would do this? And what happened when we were all confused? Was it also the culprit? In the most realistic case, when we opened the arsenal, the killer must have still been inside. Even if it was estimated from the time of death of Haruhiko, the timing was right. In an absolutely soundproofed arsenal, no matter how loud it was, it would have been impossible to be noticed. There's only one entrance and exit to the arsenal. In order to escape, they would have no way but to meet us outside.
So that's what they're saying? Like, the person was standing in here with the pins pulled and then the triggers held down, just, like, waiting for somebody to open this dang door? That's even crazier.
Was the smokescreen and flashbang used to avoid that encounter? However, when I recall the situation this morning, it would have been difficult to say that a person would artificially come out at the same time we opened the door. Oh, no, wait. A thick wooden plank was stuck in the inner handle of the arsenal door, and now it was in a state of being doubled in towards the opening of it. Something I heard right before opening the door with Teruya this morning. Looks like it was this wooden board snapping. The overall development can then be inferred so far as the thick plank was collapsed in the door of the arsenal, with the flash and smoke grenades placed on the plank. If that happens, when you forcefully open the door from the outside, the board gets crushed and the placed grenades fall to the floor. The shock triggered the grenades. Yeah, okay. Sure. But something feels weird. In the end, if it was meant to be used by the killer to get out of the arsenal during the time we were stunned, was it necessary to use such a cumbersome method? I can't even guess what the killer's goal was.
So did Haruhiko do this? Because, like, who else could have done it if the killer wasn't inside still? Like, did they ever explain that, actually? Did they ever explain how Kinji locked the science lab door with a plank from the inside and then got out? I don't think they ever did. I just remembered that. Because I'm pretty sure the science lab was a locked room, right? Or was it just the water pushing on the other side of the door? Maybe? I don't know. Maybe I'm just silly. Anyway, we got a whole bunch of stuff.
Let's talk to Akane. The smoke's actually covering her up. Nice.
Oh, Yuki.
Akane, what are you doing, not investigating?
I'm sorry. The body is so terrible.
I understand it's hard, but we can't help it. We have to do it. We have to do our own investigations as far as we can.
I know. It's been about a week since Kinji's case. I'll do my best.
So if it was a week between cases, then we've been here for 4 weeks. That's not even that long. You know?
Huh? Suddenly, while investigating the corner of the wall, I saw something out of place. This gun. Why is it so far away in the corner of the room?
I didn't even think this was a thing. I just wanted to just check it, because the guns are all over the place in here. Look at them.
I picked it up off the floor and checked it. I felt the heavy, peculiar feeling of how real it was. I couldn't find anything particularly strange about it. It was just a gun that didn't change much from the other guns other than not being on display. Was it just a little far away?
Was it just lost?
Yuki! What are you doing?
Huh? What's wrong, Teruya?
You should take your hands off that gun right now!
Wait, this must be a misunderstanding. I'm just trying to investigate over here.
That gun, it'll blow up!
Blow up? What are you talking about?
What are you doing? Now you decided to kill. It's a shame for me to tell you this, but it'd be a big deal if I were in your shoes right now. So never touch that gun.
That's not it. I was just trying to investigate it. Why would I try to kill you?
Huh? You weren't gonna shoot me?
Teruya, please. This is so ironic, given the second game.
Never touch guns. Guns are bad.
Meanwhile, 2 years later,
I love guns.
It's like that Squidward meme I've seen before, where it's like, I hate guns. 2 hours later, me and the bestie. I wonder if I can recreate that. I bet you I can. Anyway.
That's right. So, what do you mean about it blowing up? Forget it, it's nothing.
He just ran away.
What? Teruya's sudden behavior was strange, but according to his words, this could be dangerous. I put the pistol back in its original position and decided to leave it alone. And I didn't tell anybody it might explode, just in case. However, Teruya's strange remarks feel like something is off. I'll have to take note of that.
Corner gun. Nice. This is also out of place, so is this. Oh, what's back here?
What is this?
A broken plate.
At first, there was no distinction from the tin.
From the what?
From the blood on the floor. But when I looked closely, I felt something like the remnants of something other than blood stuck here.
The heck? Is it a broken sword? And a broken axe? Honestly, can't tell.
A gun?
Well, sure.
Is it really? It was so disastrously destroyed, there was almost no form left. But
it's almost like it was a gun form of parts. What does that mean?
It wasn't just because of the destruction. A large amount of blood was splattered over each piece of it. Because of the lighting on the floor, it was difficult to see clearly. How could it be destroyed like this, though? It's like seeing a bloody octopus. No, that doesn't make sense.
Okay, well, at least he said it doesn't make sense.
While observing the remains of the destroyed gun, I suddenly found something noticeable.
Oh, I see.
I suddenly noticed something very noticeable. This gun, it's loaded with bullets. In my mind, I checked around on the other guns. All of the magazines were empty. For this to be the only one destroyed, a small number of bullets were still loaded. The arsenal's base... Every weapon in the arsenal is unloaded, and the bullets that were loaded separately are stuck on the magazine. Because of these conditions, and the fact that this is the only gun loaded with bullets, there's a possibility that this is the murder weapon. Sounds like a pretty important clue. Let's be careful to remember this.
Seriously, how did it get destroyed so bad it looked like a broken plate? I guess the gun is silver. Like, hold on. Let me go to the... Like, the silver parts at the top are the... like, the top of the gun. Like, the one on the far left I can sort of see as, like, the main bulk of the barrel. The rest of it, I just don't... I don't know. Like, are these, like, dark gray parts? Like, oh, I know what it is. Oh, I know why it looks weird. They took a PNG of a gun, and they literally, like, photoshopped it apart, right? So, like, the parts on the bottom that look like blades are, like, the grip of the gun, but with also metal there in an unnatural way that it never would have broken, like. But that's just how they, like, photoshopped it to look like it was in pieces. That makes sense, actually, now that I look at it a little more closely. Okay, nobody touched the bazooka? Then I think we know our killer surely isn't Satsuki.
Ray, I want to ask you something.
Watch, Noisy. Since when did you think you could get along with me so freely? Get lost.
Even so, I thought we might cooperate a little by passing the same point of near death, but it seems if anything, it's gotten worse. In this case, it might be better to cooperate with
Tsurugi. Oh, would it?
A pistol, located in the immediate vicinity of Haruhiko. This pistol could be the weapon that killed him. But there's no bullets! The guns are all scattered on the floor. There wasn't only one gun that had fallen on the floor. Perhaps it was the criminal's actions. Most of the guns fell to the floor and were mixed randomly. From this point on, it would be hard to tell which gun was the one that actually killed Haruhiko.
We need to check the rifling on the bullet. Oh, sorry. We can't do that because we don't have forensics. Oh.
It'd be difficult to conclude that this is the gun used for the killing just because it was the closest to him. Seems that the guns were all scattered in order to prevent the real one from being found. I should check things out.
Why is there blood everywhere, by the way? Like, how does blood get everywhere from a shooting like this? Did he, like, do an interpretive dance after getting shot? Like, he got shot here, right? And he's like, oh, like, destroyed his gun, then went like, oh, I'm dying. Some down here for good measure. Okay, I'm ready to die now. Like, I don't know, man.
It's Haruhiko's body. It's no different from our friends who died so far, but it's cold, empty eyes. We're alive today because you were dead. Don't you think this is absurd?
Oh, do you expect me to answer?
There was no way that Haruhiko, who had passed away in such a devastating manner, would answer me.
Honestly, I think out of all the manners we've had so far of dying, this is probably the most tame. He just got shot. I mean, he probably bled out by the looks of it, because it hit him on his right side, so it, like, pierced his lung. But still. I don't know, man.
But the class trial still remains. If we can't find the culprit who killed you, we'll all die.
I know. It's kind of weird you're talking to my dead body.
By all means, I'll find the one who killed you, Haruhiko. I won't make your death in vain.
Maybe not. What if you didn't, actually?
After expressing minimal condolences to Haruhiko, as if making a prayer, I began to investigate his body. First, the fatal wound that can be considered the direct cause of death must be the gunshot wound to his chest. In the case of friends who've died so far, if they used a hammer, a knife, or a plaster weapon, that would make the murder weapon bloody. But in the case of Haruhiko, because Monokuma prepared an arsenal, he was shot. The treasure provided an inspiration for someone to kill him. However, I don't really know how to deal with this, as ordinary students like me don't have the slightest idea how one feels as being shot. The murder weapon is a gun. Even if it was a gun, what kind of gun? In addition to the gunshot wound in the chest, there's something suspicious. His right hand. Ugh. His right hand was devastatingly destroyed. So far, I couldn't see it. I didn't want to look at it with my eyes. It was literally destroyed.
I thought that was just like weirdly drawn shadows, but okay.
The index and middle fingers were completely amputated, and the remaining fingers were torn to pieces. I'm sure Haruhiko got this wound from being shot to the chest, but what in the world? What happened to his right hand? No matter how much I thought about it, I couldn't think my hand would look like this if I was just shot by a bullet. Rather than a gun, it's like he got caught in an explosion.
Oh, okay. Well, now I know how the gun broke. Somebody jammed it. And he was trying to shoot it, and it went kablooey. It's a real problem. Especially old guns, which he was talking about how old they were earlier, so...
I think it's a little seared when I look at it closely. I can't look at it closely when I look at it closely. I wonder what kind of gun it was that shot Haruhiko. It's urgent we find out and identify the object that caused this wound to his right hand.
Here's my question. If none of the other guns are loaded except for the exploded one, how did they get bullets for that gun? That's all I'm asking. Like, is there a case full of bullets in here somewhere? Because then we could just take all the bullets out and compare them to the whole, right? I mean, it's kind of gross, but you could. Or you could just, like, get Tsurugi to really get in there and pull the bullet out. Or if it went all the way through, you could find it. In fact, it's probably in the back of the room. And I haven't checked it yet because there was some stuff I got stuck on back there, but hey.
There were no more noticeable clues, and I couldn't see any more of my friend's terrible body, so I decided to stop and get up.
Gunshot chest wound. Ruptured right hand? Okay. Before we talk to Tsurugi and I have to do more angry voices, what is back here?
There's blood splattered here, too. What? I was trying to check in the condition of the gun display. There was blood on it, but when I looked up close, I witnessed an even more grotesque sight.
Oh, it's fingers. Oh no.
Fingers?
Fingers.
It was human fingers, no matter what way I looked at it. And, of course, the owner of these fingers was... Haru... I knew Haruhiko's body had a damaged hand, in addition to the gunshot wound in his chest. His index finger and middle finger had fallen off, and they lie here as proof. But why are his fingers here? At first glance, it was so far away from Haruhiko's body. From the shape of the blood, it seems like he began to walk after his fingers got cut. Or the opposite. Maybe his body was moved, just by taking a glance at the floor. I should consider the possibility the killer moved the body for some reason.
That's a weird thing to do. And then, what is this? It's nothing. There's just like a dent on the floor. I guess this is supposed to be the explosion mark. You can barely see it, but... I think so. Ugh. I don't want to do these voices. They're hard on me. Okay. Oh, I don't have to do this. Okay.
Oh, Yuki, welcome back. Monokuma, why are you here?
To give you the file, you dingus.
Jeesh, why treating me so harshly? I served you a meal as promised, didn't I? Did you eat up good?
I don't have time for your nonsense jokes. Get out of here.
Why are you so angry? Anyways, I forgot something, so I came to deliver it to you. The Monokuma File 4!
Oh, right.
Weak reaction, Yuki. You baka. Mulberry.
Mulberry? Okay.
Monokuma File 4. Already the fourth file. No, stop thinking like that. My only option is to think about the case. This is the Monokuma file left behind by Monokuma. Wow, crazy. Doesn't seem like it's much help, but I'll read it.
Really? Couldn't have even put him in his party clothes. Monokuma. The victim is... I guess I don't have to read this in his voice. The victim is Haruhiko Kabashikawa. The estimated time of death is around 6 a.m. All these people murder, like, right before everybody gets up. What's up with that? Have a little secrecy, will you? The body was found in the arsenal. Cause of death was excessive bleeding due to a gunshot wound in the right chest. I don't know if I'd say it that way. In addition, the index finger and middle finger of his right hand were amputated and broken. Broken!
Gunshot wound. From the first time I saw the arsenal in the ballroom, I guessed it vaguely, but from this fact, the weapon seems to be a gun for sure, and the time of death was here, about 6 a.m. The time was lost when I spent it in the ballroom, but when I went to the dormitory to change my clothes a little earlier, I checked the current time, and it was around 9 a.m. That means Haruhiko's death was less than 3 hours ago. I got up after listening to the announcement at 7 a.m. this morning. So the incident really happened quite early this time. This time, the time of death is properly written. I guess the cause of death is too. There was a trap in the Monokuma file for the previous case, and confusion at that time because it didn't write down whether it was AM or PM. Yeah, I know. But fortunately, there seems to be no doubt in this Monokuma file. But that's it. This Monokuma file is just that. No special clues to be found. No. At least we can know the estimated time of death. Let's take a note of it.
Alright, now Tsurugi's gonna say something. Nope, he's just staring at Haruhiko. Creepy. Okay. I think I've looked at everything in here. I forgot I could do this. There's something in front of Haruhiko? What might that be? Is it talking about the gun? What is this? Oh, it's the 2 checks on his body, just to make sure you can do it. I guess. I don't know. That's a little weird. But I think I got everything if Tsurugi isn't going to say anything to me. Oh, never mind, he is now.
Tsurugi.
Yuki.
I've missed you.
That just felt like what people say before, like that running towards each other on a beach thing, you know?
In the end, I couldn't hide the awkward mood. Tsurugi told me to focus only on the investigation, but I was still worried about it. Just...
Huh? Do you have something to ask about the case?
Well, I mean, Haruhiko's body. He didn't die instantly, right?
Indeed. In fact, there is a hole in the chest, even in the Monokuma file.
Even the Monokuma file mentions it. That's probably more. There wasn't a hole in the Monokuma file. No, I missed it.
A gun? Until now, thanks to the layout of the school, there were only murders with items that would be common in everyday life.
Yeah, like a plaster spear and a taser. Anyway, where did he get the taser? I still don't know.
To think there would be a person who was shot to death.
It's fine. You guys might not be familiar, but I have my fair share with gunshots. I'm feeling comfortable. If there's something you don't know, it's fine to ask.
Is it because the incident happened? Even though there was conflict with us less than 24 hours ago, Tsurugi's gone back to the way he usually treats me. Well, maybe it's the gun, and the chest wound. Would it be better to see this as immediate death?
No, I don't think Haruhiko was close to immediate death.
Huh? Why is that?
Even if it was straight through the chest, it wouldn't have hit the heart. It's in the right, you see. The bullet passed through the body. Since it wasn't stuck, it would have been possible to move for a short amount of time, rather than die immediately.
So it went straight through, so you can find the bullet. Go find it, and then check it with other bullets. I mean, it'll be kind of busted up, but, you know.
It wasn't stuck, meaning it penetrated the body? Wouldn't it be more dangerous then?
There's surprisingly many people who think that way, but in reality, it's better for a bullet to pass straight through the body than be stuck in it.
It's true.
There are 3 types of layer damage to a body. One is bleeding, another burning, and the last is the impact of a bullet's kinetic energy. If you look at it one by one, it's difficult to inflict great damage to the small surface area. In case of burns, it's rare that from excessive bleeding you'll die immediately. But the story of shock caused by the kinetic energy is different. Yuki, if you got hit with a fist or a bat, it'd be difficult to move due to that impact, right?
Well, if you're an ordinary person who doesn't have special training, it'd be even worse.
Right. When a bullet gets stuck inside the body, all that kinetic energy turns into a shock wave, creating an instantaneous space within the body. The fact that this space has been created means the body was greatly shocked. This shock will cause negligible...
Negligible means not very much, so I don't think that's the right word.
Will cause significant damage and damage the surrounding organs as well.
Really? I'm not sure what you mean exactly, but anyway, that means penetration is better alternative than getting stuck, right?
Penetration just means to go. So, like, what would you use for that? To, like, go all the way and then out the other side? I don't know.
That's what it means. In fact, in some foreign countries, there are bullets that split the front part, cause fragments to get stuck in the body.
I forget what those are called.
That's terrible.
A bullet did this. It was a fatal injury to be hit by this bullet, whether it stuck or pierced the body. Especially in the case of Haruhiko, as you said, his chest was hit, so even if it was pierced, there's a high possibility that a hole in his lungs was created.
That's what I said.
As I said before, it's only less shocking. He must have died shortly after having difficulty breathing and then bleeding out. It's hard. Guns should only be cheap for the wicked, unless it's an extreme game.
It is just an extreme situation.
Doesn't really seem to be a need to talk about it. Anyways, I'm moving on to another place, since the arsenal seems to be thoroughly investigated. Make sure to investigate carefully, and if you find something, let me know, Yuki.
Okay. Tsurugi, there was an incident yesterday, and he seemed a lot unstable recently, but it seems like everything is okay because of the current situation. Was it only me that had a hard time to deal with him? Seriously, Tsurugi's a completely different person from the first time we met, the time he was hostile to us, and the time of the investigation. For now, let's check what Tsurugi told me. I didn't really understand all of it, but in summary, it's better to be pierced from the bullet than having it get stuck in the body, and Haruhiko's case was the latter. Was it?
I thought he said it pierced through. It got in there? Hold on, now I have to check. Occurred with a weapon for murder called gun. Quotation marks. That's so funny. I guess I need Tsurugi's testimony. Oh, this just. Oh no, it doesn't go off the screen. I'm mistaken. The gunshot caused Haruhiko's death would not have been instantaneous. The bullet didn't get stuck. It went through the body. See, I knew it. So where's the bullet? If he was standing around here when the gun exploded, not the axe, the bullet's got to be over here, right? You guys should look for it. It could be important. But oh well. Ah! Clown jump scare.
Satsuki, why are you standing here doing,
Yuki, what am I supposed to do?
Is it because it's Haruhiko? It seems horrible, but we have no choice but to investigate, even if it sounds wrong, in order for us to survive.
To survive, is it?
Satsuki?
No. Yeah, the investigation. I have to. Yeah.
She was so quiet. It wasn't like her at all. The girl who would always run rampant. It seems like Haruhiko's death hurt her more than any of us.
She just continued to stand vigil as one of the knights, joining the knights troop. What are you doing?
Mikako, you're here. What about the arsenal investigation?
I did it. Roughly.
You aren't supposed to do it roughly.
Yuki, I want you to listen to me.
Huh?
There's a problem with the alibis. During dawn, I kept monitoring the hallway.
You were?
Nodding. Okay.
Are you okay? I couldn't really tell, but you nearly died because of hunger.
I'm pretty sure we all did. I'm used to it.
Well, that's troubling. You're used to it.
Anyways, about the alibis.
Okay, sure.
My room is right next to the arsenal. Unfortunately, because of the soundproofness, I don't know, I couldn't hear anything inside. Only the sound of the arsenal door opening and closing is what I heard.
That means you saw it. You saw who went into the arsenal.
I heard the sounds. I couldn't see them from this room, but I could see the moment they were passing by the door.
Isn't that right next to the arsenal anyway? If I'd passed in front of your room and headed into the arsenal... No. This is the hallway on the left side, in front of the arsenal. Due to the structure of the ballroom, if you turn to the other side and enter the arsenal, you can't move without passing by your watchful eyes, Kurokawa.
That's right, but I saw a few people that entered the arsenal.
Really? Who?
One is Sarahiko.
And the other?
The rest. I'll tell you in the trial. I don't want to spoil it. Suddenly, I thought about investigating.
She doesn't want to believe it. I don't want to believe it either.
Still a weird girl as usual, but thanks to her, this case should be solved fairly easily. Apart from that, I'm more worried about her health. She usually looks weak and nervous, but right now, she couldn't even sleep or eat at all. I hope she's okay.
She didn't eat at breakfast? No, she needs to eat. Please. Please. Why are you staring at this room?
Tsurugi, what are you doing here?
You're here.
Yeah.
There was something I was going to check right now, but if it's okay, why don't we check together?
What are we checking?
We're looking at it.
The door? It's open. Wasn't this room...
Indeed. It was Haruhiko Kobashi. I got the key from Haruhiko Kabashikawa's corpse. I borrowed it for a while. Because this is an incident in a closed space with limited movement, it'd be better to search everywhere.
Okay.
Decided to follow Tsurugi and investigate Haru's room.
Yeah, they use Haruhiko's first name, Teruya's first name, and then everyone else's last name. It's very confusing.
It's a room no different from mine, shockingly enough.
Hey, look at this. There's something of interest here.
It's some kind of paper.
It's a secret note.
To Haruhiko, I have something to say. If you read this, why don't you come to the arsenal? I'm not gonna kill you. I hope you believe me. I'll be waiting.
Yikes. Isn't this like... Okay. This is actually something I can relate to. Because if you don't know, I'm working on sort of plotting out my own FANGAME right now, right? And it's really hard to figure out why people would go to places where they should die. I think this is the... I think all 4 murders in this game have had a note from the killer. I think. Because case 1, there was a note, I believe, to meet... Yeah, there was, because he ambushed her in the laundry room. There was a note to go to the laundry room. In case 2, there was... Akane got a note from her. And then in case 3... Was there a note in case 3? I actually don't remember. I think Kinji might have just scooped up Kanata. Which I remember her name now. Close enough last time. I don't think there was actually a note in chapter 3, but there's a note again. That's still 3 of 4. It's actually pretty hard to figure out why people would be in murdery places without like somebody convincing them or just carrying them away. Anyways,
This is...
Who? Who?
I don't know. It doesn't have a name on it.
The letter was written by the killer.
It's the same method as when Maki was killed. And the other... Mention the other... Besides, this letter wasn't torn like last time. It's proof the culprit didn't even mess with.
However, this seems little more than what it looks.
what?
Seems more than what it would take.
What it takes?
I'll ask you, Yuki. After reading this, would you go to the arsenal?
Huh? I mean...
By the time this letter was sent, they would kill me. Just after we hit each other and fought. In that situation, if I received a letter like this from you... This was the way Mitsuhiro Higa used to commit murder.
And the other one?
Under the door? How can you even know that?
I was... What? Can't you tell by a glance? There's no reason to meet face to face to give a letter. There's no other way to send a letter in a locked room like this.
It's definitely the first time anyone thinks of calling themselves out for murder.
What? Anyway.
Why did Haruhiko go directly to the arsenal then?
Well, couldn't it have been that they didn't know because it was impossible to think normally? I mean, just before we all went crazy.
If you look at the source of that madness, it was due to being starved and dying. The fear that someone might kill you. In other words, it's because of the self-defense and fear of death. I don't want to die. You'd rather judge things related to death more rationally than usual in extreme situations like that. Still, the question remains, why did Haruhiko go to death's door all by himself?
Is it because they believed it?
Huh?
Haruhiko probably believed. He believed that no one in our group would kill. He believed it to the very end.
Huh.
We were all on the verge of releasing the strings of reason, but it was different for Haruhiko. He was the same as ever. He wasn't sane exactly, but he was still opposed to the idea of murder in the end. Tsurugi, you saw that too, right? He didn't want to ask you, but we all gotten weird. He had to plead to you to do something. Because he was like that, even if he was out of his mind, he would have trusted a friend and gone straight to the arsenal.
Such stupidity. Not worth the word trust. It's more like jumping into death without being able to judge the situation properly. What's with that face? Were you hoping you'd get closer to me?
I mean, I did all your free time events.
Do you want me to be impressed by saying this as a way of showing your trust to the others? Look at the result. He died because of his stupidity. It's the reason I'm far away from people like you.
Tsurugi.
Enough. We're investigating now. Can't get excited over personal feelings. Whether Haruhiko acted this way because of mischief or what is withheld, but this letter is an important clue, regardless. Just finding it gives us a great achievement, sure. Seems to be nothing else special in the room other than this. I'll leave and check another place then. See you at the class trial.
He just walked right by me. I thought he was turning around, but Tsurugi, after having all these doubts on his mind, if this class trial ends safely and we all survive, we'll have to have a serious talk about his state.
Yes, a serious talk with ropes and, Wow, I actually... Oh, okay, I can't go in. I actually can't... Oh, I can! I can go around. Okay. Don't talk to me. Anyway. What would even be left? This room? We still haven't solved the mystery of this room. The music cut out. Nope. It's just an empty room, I guess. That's fine. Oh god, now it's different music. Is there anything at the door? No. Where'd Teruya run off to? Teruya, there you are. Ha! Oh! I kind of want to know what he says. Let's see. Even though my phone is on the verge of death. But I guess, you know, relatable to these guys. Oh. Okay, here we go. Scan it, baby. Go.
I didn't do anything. Really, nothing.
Okay. Sounds good, buddy. Oh, maybe I'll find Haruhiko in here. Oh, right. Oh, wait. Right. What am I missing, then? If there's one thing Danganronpa games do to me a lot, it's this. And Ace Attorney did it too in some of the earlier games, where it's just like, what am I doing? Nope, it isn't in here. Where am I missing something? Let me just check, because they should be in order, right? You'd think.
Okay, there's something else in the freaking room. Okay, I got literally everything else. There's something else in this dang room. I was supposed to get Tsurugi's testimony last? That doesn't make sense. So maybe they're not in order. Oops, that's not... I tried to press that to enter the doorway. I couldn't check this because of Tsurugi. I tried to check it from the side, but it didn't work. Rude.
I couldn't see it properly because of the smoke, but when I suddenly stopped to look at it, I could see an unnatural bloodstain on the floor. Traces danced throughout the arsenal, as if Haruhiko wandered around the arsenal after being shot. What is this unnatural bloodstain? It's only obvious it's Haruhiko's blood, but rather than trying to run away after being shot, by looking at these spots, it seems as if he was trying to move in the arsenal all over the place. Simply put, it's bizarre.
Oh, did he put the guns everywhere? That actually might make sense.
Is it reasonable to assume that this degree of descriptive blood was made by the killer dragging Haruhiko around unconsciously? Well, for now, I can only think of it as a possibility, but there must be some way for the blood to have been left like this.
Alright. Okay, there we go. I didn't get to talk to Mikako in here, but whatever. Even Monokuma is covered by the smoke filter.
Hello? Can everyone hear me? It's already time. Anyways, it finally happened inside the ballroom, so there's not much to investigate, right? Now then, everyone, please gather in front of the entrance to the courtroom.
So it's already the end of our investigation. No matter how much I've done this, it's still too short. Damn, I don't think I've recovered the sensitivity yet on my body.
Okay.
But it can't be helped. I did my best to investigate as much as I could. All that remains is what we've investigated so far. We have no choice but to guess the killer with everyone else.
It doesn't seem like there's much evidence in this case. Like, there was a lot of evidence in the last case. Maybe that's why.
Everyone is here.
Da 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 da. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we're having an ellipses contest. I'm ellipses champion.
Actually, I think I'm ellipses champion.
Oh, Yuki's here. Then let's start the trial.
The tension is flowing. The mood is terribly awkward. While in the ballroom, a world of lawlessness was so colorless and hard. Above all, the number of people is so small now. 7 people, including myself. If even one of us is the culprit who killed Haruhiko, after this trial is handed over, the criminal will be executed and only 6 will remain.
The final 6!
6. It was a number that didn't feel real. When did our head count be reduced to this extent?
Sure. Whatever. That works.
Looks like everyone's gathered. Well, it's easier to manage since there's so little numbers now. Isn't everyone's tension too low? Events that are washed out like class trials are more lively, you know. It's no fun if there's no reaction at all. Jeez. Now then, it's already the 4th time, right? This is the start of a fun class trial, so get on the elevator.
Whatever the case, I have to go beyond this class trial. All these issues are for later. Everyone has their faces as if they were determined to do something, even with our strained bonds. Different thoughts intersect with each other, and we run into a hell called a class trial once again.
I kind of like that imagery, you know? We run into the hell called class trial once again.
Let's move. What do you want? Don't worry about me. I'm not crying.
Okay.
Ellipses champion.
This case. No, you don't have to think so complicated.
Corpusing. We finally escaped from the ballroom due to the death of Kabashikawa and escaped the risk of starving to death. I'm still not happy, though. We can only survive by someone's sacrifice. It's the same for all of these class trials. At the expense of the criminal, it's a system where everyone lives. It's so sad that we have to do this again.
Well, we'll do it next time, of course. You didn't think I was jumping in right now, did you? That would be hilariously wrong. Ooh, big stretch. Okay, I'm alive. Thank you all for watching. You know, if you enjoyed, you could leave a like. Oh, you could subscribe. And, you know, that's it. Oh, there's also the Patreon now, actually, which I guess I should mention. Check the description if you want to support me. Thumbs up. I feel like this chapter is going to be interesting because I know it's emotional. But I feel like so far the case might not be that good. We'll have to see. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I will see you next time.
Bye.